So, how many of you actually like animal attack movies? The animals come out of the jungle or the sewer or, I don't know, somebody's head even, and they attack and people have to run around and evade the animals. I think there was one about a monkey just recently, about a chimpanzee or gorilla or something, and he chased all the people into the pool. I can't remember what the name was. No, recently, like the beginning of 2026. Now, I thought it was an excellent film. You know, I mean, it's been done before. Look at Shatma, and look at that other one that was, I think was called Rage. It's been done before, but I think this movie was really cool. It was done so well. And of course, with CGI the way it is today, the chimpanzee or whatever it was, the little monkey, was freaking frightening. You know, it was so well done. And I actually believe that it was there, you know. I freaking love these movies, especially the much older ones, the ones from like the 70s and 80s. 70s were like the pinnacle of these monster movies where it's not really a monster, it's an animal. And you get all kinds of ones. You've got Prophecy, you've got Grizzly, you've got one of my favorites, of course, is Alligator. And in those days, I would always think like, oh my God, where did they get this enormous alligator to play the part? You know, because it like bashes through the sidewalk and it's in the tunnels. And of course, at that stage, I didn't know about special effects and miniatures and all that sort of thing. So for me, I think that growing up with that sort of thing, Jaws is the classic one. I was taken to go and see Jaws by a very nasty cousin of mine. He knew exactly what he was doing. I think I was very young. He took me to see this film, and he then took me to the beach directly afterwards, because the cinema was right on the beach. And I think that's why I have an absolute phobia about sharks. If you talk to me about a horror movie, don't talk to me about Hatchet or freaking Art the Clown. Talk to me about any shark movie. I don't care if it's the four-headed shark or whatever it is. I am petrified of sharks. That to me is my actual horror movie. There was a movie about a woman stuck on a rock a couple of years ago. She was surfing, and if you remember that movie, and I actually couldn't watch it. Honest to God, I actually could not watch it. I stopped halfway through, and I was like, ain't for me, hey? Can't do it. But I love animal attack movies because you can get away with so much. There's a famous one called Night of the Lepus, or Lepus. I'm not sure how you guys in America, we pronounce it lepus here in South Africa. And it's about rabbits, bunny rabbits, you know, bunny rabbits. And they attack this town, and it's hysterical because there is literally no way that you can make a cute little bunny rabbit look ferocious and terrifying. It's just laughable. And in fact, there is a making of documentary on YouTube. I'll try and find it and put the link down below, but don't quote me on that. Where they actually show you how they got these rabbits to run around and kind of trash this little miniature, and how they actually got the blood to splatter when they were shooting these rabbits. And I love that kind of thing. I love you know, Alligator, as I said, is one of my favorites. Jaws, it's okay. As I say, I'm too terrified to actually go back and watch those sort of movies. But I like it because, as I say, you can get away with so much. There's one film in particular that has always stayed in my mind, and I think it's called The Day of the Animals. Have a look here. I'll put the poster up here. And it's got Leslie Nielsen in it. And you guys know Leslie Nielsen. He's the guy from the Airplane movie and, you know, Don't Call Me Shirley. And he plays such a bastard in this movie. He's just so awful. And I've never, ever seen another movie where he plays this kind of part. It's just so against type, and that's what makes these silly movies so brilliant, is they can take an actor that you're used to seeing in a different part, pop them in with some nasty giant grizzly bear or whatever, and they can play a part that's so completely different, and they don't have to worry about feeling stupid because the movie is actually really stupid. Okay. Another one of my favorites is, of course, Lake Placid. We all love Lake Placid. Come on, it's a guilty pleasure, people. You know you love it. Anaconda. Guilty pleasure. I have watched Anaconda at least twice a year. Love that movie because it's so over the top and the CGI is so bad. And that's what makes it a really good, bad movie. I find that a lot of the films in this genre also tend to use different ways of making the animals that we would normally find like completely not scary. So for instance, if you watch Empire of the Ants, it's got my favorite actress, Joan Collins. Love Joan Collins, Dame Joan. And the ants have been exposed to radiation or something, and they are huge. They're these monster ants. And of course, the end of that movie is really, really good. I won't spoil the twist. Prophecy is about a mutated bear. And it's basically exactly that. It's a mutated bear that goes around and basically kills people. So many of these movies that are out there. My favorite ones, as I've said, are the ones where they use animals that are not normally scary, like Night of the Lepers, where they use bunnies. There's another one called The Dogs, or Dogs, and it's literally a movie that is so badly edited that in one scene, it's about these domesticated dogs that all go wild, they all go feral and they attack the owners and everything. It's brilliant. And there's a scene where there's this a Rottweiler who, no, a Doberman, I'm so sorry. There's this Doberman who jumps over this couch or this fence or something, and it attacks and it mauls this person. Of course, you don't see any blood or anything because this was the 70s or early 80s. And literally 3 scenes later, they shoot the dog, it's dead. Okay. And 3 scenes later, this fucking dog is jumping over the fence again. So there it is. I don't know how it was miraculously reinvented or resurrected, but little things like that you can look out for in these movies. That's what makes them so fascinating and so exciting for me to watch. And I'll go back and I'll watch. These are probably the movies I rewatch the most because I find them so entertaining. Nowadays we've moved away from that. I see that the only real horror movie that with an animal in it that we get is a shark movie. And yes, okay, sharks are very scary to most of us, but for God's sake, isn't there something else we can do? We do alligators or alligators and crocodiles, and then we do sharks, and that's it. We don't come up with something. In fact, the last really cool one I watched was Cocaine Bear. If anybody knows where I can find a copy of this, please leave a message down below. Let me know. I'm happy to sell the 7 Seas to get a copy as well, by the way. So Cocaine Bear was absolutely brilliant. I thoroughly enjoyed it, and it's on my absolute need to get list. Okay, and I think that's like one of the few modern animals go wild kind of movie. I think it's obviously nowadays it's just sharks go wild, and we've moved away from that fun animal thing. You know, we have had Under Paris, we've had Chum. I think Chum is the latest one, which is terrible, by the way. I've seen it. It's a horrible movie. We've had all the silly sci-fi channel films. It's just, to me, it's really sad that these movies have taken a backseat to something like, I don't know, The Fast and the Furious 12 or something, something, you know. So yeah, tell me about it. What do you think? What was the scariest animal attack movie that you've ever seen? And was it a recent one? Or I don't know how, maybe you'll give your age away if you do tell me, but was it one from like the 70s or the 80s or something like Alligator or something like that, you know? Let me know below. And while you're down there, please subscribe, ring the bell, press all the little buttons, and you know what to do. And yeah, I will see you in the next reel.